Wednesday, December the 18th. Lake level is right at 9:14. It's come up about 6 inches since last week. The snow and ice has finally melted enough to where I've been able to get out and do a little bit of fishing. It's actually pretty much all gone right now. But I got out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, I put in the Kimbling City area, and the water temperature was right at 50 degrees. I didn't put in till late in the day, but I was able to catch a few fish on a jerkbait. I've kind of been mixing it up between a jerkbait and an Alabama rig and trying to locate some deep fish. The bite was pretty slow, but I did have 3 good quality keepers, and they were all on secondary points, about 10, 15 foot deep around submerged cedar trees. Now, I could find a lot of deep fish, but most of the shad I found was out there at 60 to 70 foot of water. And it's not hard finding the shad. You go in just about any one of these major creeks and you'll see the birds either sitting on top of the water or kind of circling around dipping for bait. But if you see that, just start idling around. The problem is that the bait that I've been finding is so deep, there's not a whole lot of fish down there with them that I've been able to catch. I can see some fish in the 30, 40 foot range, and if I really work with them on a grub and a spoon, I can catch a few. Now, I've been having a little bit better luck on a grub, and I've been throwing a 1/4 ounce, kind of a salt and pepper 4-inch single tail grub. Smoke with black flake will also work. Now, what I've been doing is just picking up these isolated fish and dropping my bait down to them. But like I said, I've been having to play with them quite a bit. I haven't found any big concentrations of deep fish. I think what we need is get the schools of bait up a little bit higher. And, I think we're kind of going, I've been wanting the water temperature to cool down. I actually think it needs to cool down more to get better. Now, the crankbait bite will pretty much slow down when that water gets below 50. You can probably still catch them on it, but you're going to have to fish it really slow. Tuesday, we went to Stockton, and that water temperature up there was in the low 40s. We got as high as 41, and they really bit good up there. I think we had 19. We had several 3 to 3.5 pounders, and we had one a little over 5. And I think all but 2 of them came on an Alabama rig. We caught 2 on a jerkbait. But most of those fish up there, they weren't on the main lake. They were about halfway back into creeks, and they weren't that deep. We caught them, probably 8 to 15 foot. Some were suspended, some were close to the bottom. And it didn't really seem to matter what baits we were throwing on the Alabama rigs. We were using swim fluke juniors and shad patterns like a Arkansas shiner, smoking shad, and we was also using a Kitech, and on a couple of them we were using a 4 and 5-inch single tail grub for the dummy baits. Like I said, it really didn't matter on what bait we were throwing, as long as it was a shad color, a shad pattern. The water was fairly clear up there. It had probably 8-9 foot of visibility. And then today I fished on Table Rock again today, trying to get an Alabama rig established, but I went up in the mid-James area and I could not get an Alabama rig bite, but I was able to catch some on a jerkbait. And the jerkbait I was throwing was a Spro 4.5 inch. And I've been throwing a couple different colors now. It's by no means a fast bite, but when I do get a bite, it's been a good keeper fish. And they've been around them cedar trees. I haven't done much on the main lake. Most everything's been back in the creeks on secondary points. And the key seems to be is around timber, either hardwoods or submerged cedar trees. It's kind of hard to tell, whenever I do get a bite, I'm almost afraid to change color of baits, but I have been mixing it up between these 3 baits right here. And today I did catch a keeper on each one of them. I never caught 2 on any one color. I did catch a few fish real deep as well, out of that 60, 65 foot range. But like I was saying earlier, there's just no concentrations. So, I think if I was to go out again tomorrow, I would probably, just for kicks, I would go way up one of the river arms till I could get into that colder water and see if that's a key for that Alabama rig. You know, so long as the water's still got 5 or 6 foot of visibility, that Alabama rig will work, and the jerkbait. Now, as far as a jig, you know, you can still, I did catch 2 on a boat dock, about 12 to 15 foot deep on a 5/16 ounce small finesse jig. I was throwing a pig sticker jig with a Zoom speed craw for a trailer, just a green pumpkin with a little purple. Now, I think no matter what you're going to do, unless a guy really gets into a good school, a good group of deep fish, it's going to be real slow fishing. If a guy can get fortunate enough to find some active deep fish, you know, normally I always tell people that this is some of the best time of the year to be fishing. But I haven't been able to find them real active groups of deep fish, and I don't think too many people have. They had a tournament this past weekend, and I think 13 pounds won it, and the guys had a 5-pounder. Second, third place was 10 pounds. So, you know, there's just averaging 2-pound fish. Fishing is just kind of in a little bit of a funk right now. It will get better. Like I say, you know, guy, for the most part, just got to be patient and fish real slow. I'm not going to do a fishing report next week because next Wednesday will be Christmas. But I'd like to wish everybody a happy Merry Christmas. And looks like the weather's still going to be, you know, pretty favorable for fishing this weekend. I think Sunday they're calling for a little bit of snow, and then it's going to get back down into the teens and high 20s again. The last few days have been absolutely gorgeous, but fishing's been a little slow. But I've talked to several guys out on the water, and if a person wants to crappie fish, it sounds like the crappie are biting real good. So till the first of the year, good luck and good fishing.